So in this one, it is early 20th century cloth, basketry, beads, and fabric. And it's about 41 inches tall. And basically it just shows a mother with her babies and she's taking them. It's very colorfully done. I love it, actually. It's so bright. The colors are perfect with all these children hanging off her. It totally reminds me of my life. Okay, so Jeff Koons, Puppy, 1992. Chichichia da. That's what it feels like to me. I think it's very playful and silly. In this piece, it's assemblage, and it's just meaning it consists of an armature of stainless steel and an irrigation system, living flowers, chichia pet. That's a way to think about it. So I think it's just kind of funny, very silly. It's pretty big though. Okay, so on this piece, take a moment and look at it. It is incredibly strange. Okay, everyday domestic lives that are juxtaposed with one another to create haunting objects that seem to exist halfway between reality and nightmare. Body parts made of plaster and beeswax for skin, lower legs wearing shoes and socks, and there is actual hair. A common domestic sink, a place to clean, but this one is non-functional. Its drain leads to nowhere, a sort of sinkhole. The legs of a young girl are where the water faucet should be. Both legs are left feet. Strange. This one very much upsets me for some reason. This piece I find incredibly fascinating. Swamp Ritual, 1972. It has a lot of spiritual undertones to it. The artist herself was an older woman working in isolation. She never thought that anyone would ever be interested in her work. She fabricated parts from rusted out tractors and machines, discarded building material, and logs and paper mache made from classified sections of the Louisiana Journal and Times. Paper mache birds, the wooden and iron elements of her work, newsprint in hot water until its ink began to turn into a uniform gray. Then she would mix Elmer's glue, creates a clay-like material, and it looks like a wasp nest. So Carnell, the older artist, was quite inspired by Eva Hest. She saw some of her work and the way that she used materials in a very untraditional way, and it inspired her to create the ritual swamp that we just saw beforehand. So in this work, you have reinforced fiberglass and latex over cheesecloth. Can you imagine? Only an artist would think of doing this. Hung, so it feels like it is clothes hung out on a clothesline to dry, doesn't it? Waving through the wind. So kind of her thought, women's work, So in this piece, Nancy Rubin's Pleasure Point, done in 2006, she combines a lot of found objects to make a big, large sculpture. So she has different kinds of vessels, stainless steel, wire, and boats, all combined together, exploding out of the Contemporary Art Museum of San Diego. Very cool, I think. Pleasure Point. Okay, Cloud Gate. Site Pacific sculpture by an Indian-born British artist. Shaped like a giant bean, covered with 168 highly polished stainless steel plates, seamlessly welded together. It engages the Chicago skyline, so the clouds kind of float in, with those very tall buildings reflected in the work. The piece seems weightless to the eye, and you can see the reflection of the skyline, and it warps it. And I've had students say they have seen it, and it's incredibly awesome. And as you can see the people underneath it, so you kind of get an idea of the scale of the work.